Can we start recording?
Yep, I've done that.
All right.
I think so. Visual effects, manage recording. Yeah, recording has started.
Perfect.
And that should go in your into your meeting recording folder in Google Drive.
Yes.
Hey John, how you doing? John's been very dedicated. I think he's been on nearly all the calls.
Hi John, how are you?
Well, good, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good.
I just played badminton, so if I'm looking glowing with energy, that's why. Some wins, some losses.
It's coffee time for me. It's only 7 a.m. in the morning, so it's definitely coffee time for me.
I don't know where Debbie went. I did let her in, but she's disappeared. I think we should have.
Yeah, well, so we're waiting for a few more people to come through.
Hitesh is here.
Yeah, it's been a very, very interesting journey within AI in itself. And given what I've seen in these past 6 months, incredible transformation in terms of people's attitudes and their willingness to want to listen. It's been very different. It's been very different as opposed to other times now where you would struggle to want to have a meeting with someone. Nowadays it's now very different because a lot of business leaders and business owners, they feel that they're lagging behind, or secretly they know that they need to be using AI, but they just haven't spoken with someone who actually is competent enough to give them the confidence that, oh yeah, they got the tools. So it's been very, very interesting.
I'm just going to put a link into the chat into the level 6 group.
All right. We'll just wait for 2 more minutes, then we can start. We can definitely start. Yeah, so.
Another person joining. Yeah. Here we go. Dennis, in you come. And we've got tools. We'll probably have as many AIs as we do people.
Yes.
We had a Toastmasters call last night, and they had the little bing bong, and the people kept on joining all meetings. So it's like little bing bong every 5 seconds.
All right.
In they come. Let's make a new file and get rid of you. Strange. Let's do that. There we go. Michelle, in you come. Throughout the meetings, if you have questions, you can pop them into chat, and we'll have some time for questions a bit later. And then also, when he's sharing your screen, you can press a little in the bottom right. There's a magnifying glass, and you can zoom in up to 200%. So sometimes that's useful, especially if you're on a small screen, like if you're on a phone or a laptop, then it can be quite difficult seeing the screen sometimes. So you can use the zoom feature to zoom in. Here we go.
All right. So I'm going to switch like this. Right. I think we are good to start. I'll start sharing my screen.
Christian. And if you could mute your microphones, that'd be great.
Well, good morning, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to today's presentation on how not to sell voice AI solution to businesses in 2025. Your host today is Paul, who's joining me from UK, and I'm the presenter, Taps, based in Perth, Western Australia. I hope my audio is nice and clear. Sometimes when you're on the grand stage, some audio tends to give you a few issues, but I hope you can hear me nice and clear. So yes, thank you very much for taking the time to be with me and be with us tonight. And yeah, I'm going to share my experiences of what has happened in the past 5 months per se, from not in 5 months, 4 months, right? From October and now in January, and the incredible transformation on that is done to our business and to the clients we're serving here in Australia and the future outlook. So we have an opportunity to talk about how this is, how we see this going forward, and also get to share some of the tactics that will get us to serve more people and continue making sales. All right. So two parts of this presentation. The first one is just to show you on how not to, which is the definite, for me, these are the deal breakers. I did fail selling before you trying to do it this way. Then I've got another short presentation, the one which I call the shotgun presentation. That one is impactful. It's once you're an expert, you can do it in less than 5 minutes, but you get someone signing up and buying your product. This has allowed us to position ourselves differently from a lot of people who are coming to the market and selling AI solutions. Our products, our voice AI products, they start from 8,000 Aussie dollars, and our flagship is the combined inbound and outbound agent we are retailing right now for a setup fee of $16,000, and then there's the monthly recurring fee of $1,600. Yes, it was scary at start to think about how do I actually sell it for such a price, because it appeared like it's such a very high amount or high value. But tell you what, as long as you can unpack the value, I'm still doing it at a discount, because some businesses are actually shocked right now to say, oh, it's only 16K, it's only 8,000, and they sign up. So it's a function of positioning and the confidence in unpacking value. Then literally price is not an issue afterwards, right? Okay, so one of the key things which I did the very first time was to lead with the tech, because we are so much engrossed and we've spent so much time in the techno bubble, right? We've got the latest news, and we know we are literally at the tip and at the forefront of this AI. So when I was trying to sell it in the first place, I would literally be saying to a business owner, I've got a voice AI tool, I've got a voice AI agent that you can use in your business. Just because I was leading with that, right? That would put them off, because they wouldn't understand. So what? It's just AI, it's just voice. Man, it sounds robotic, right? I'll get so many objections simply because they're not familiar with it. And I didn't know what I was literally doing, because I was focusing on the tech itself. So yes, it did get me attention to get people to listen. In terms of sales, no, it didn't even get me any sales, because I was leading with the wrong tool, yet I had one of the best products. So it left me to do some thinking and understanding why is it not working, because I think we tend to be so focused and to be self-centered, because we spent a significantly large amount of time, intimate time, developing the product, such that we slowly dive into the techno bubble before we realize that they're not even interested in knowing the techno bubble. They just want to know their business problem, or it can be fixed, right? So that was number one. Number two is also assuming that it's the same way to sell the product. Because as much as we have made a penetration in the few niches that are definitely coming to stand out as the ones where we are finding success without a lot of effort, right? It's it does take a lot of time, and this is a lot of meetings, a lot of fine tuning the process, especially of unpacking value, right? So a one size fits all approach doesn't work. I remember in November, what I did was I went to a car dealership, and this was wild. I went to a Ram dealership. Ram is one of these large, very beautiful trucks. It's definitely overpriced because it's a vanity product. The T-Rex was selling for $280,000, and I went there and I said I want to test drive the car. The guys, the sales guys, they were even like, "Wow, you want to?" I'm like, "Yeah, I want to buy that." So the business owner was actually nearby. Then he got into the truck with me. He's like, "Yeah, I will go for a spin together." And we went for the spin. But whilst we were there, he took the opportunity to ask me, "What do I do?" And then that was the opportunity I was just waiting for to speak and pounce on it. And yes, I haven't bought the truck yet, but they're now my clients. So it's a strategy that was unconventional, not even thought of, but I just thought it on the way because it's on my way back home and it worked. So these are the key things uh, which you just need to look at when you realize that, okay, you've got something which you can use in your arsenal, because it's not about the product, it's about how you're unpacking the value to the business owner and uh, finding the opportunity time to unveil it. So yeah, I've got another one again. My son was doing his driving lessons, right? So the driving instructor would come and pick him up, and they would go for their lesson and then drop him. Then on this particular day, I just asked that, "Oh, can I just join you for the lesson?" Right? So I was in the back seat and just watching him drive. By the time we came back, he had already uh, lots of missed calls, right? And then I began chatting with him. I'm like, "Oh man, I'm worried. You're losing a lot of business calls with missed calls." It's like, "Yeah, I've got people who answer the phone, but man, people are people. They've been doing the job for years and they're having these issues." Then what I did there was like, "Oh, you know what? There's a product which I have, which I've been working with businesses around, and particularly on missed phone calls is a game changer, because every missed phone call is revenue out of the door. So it's literally revenue knocking and revenue out. So if you can answer the phone, or someone can pick up the phone, the chances of revenue coming into your bank account trebles." So I just gave him my phone and he called, and immediately his question was, "How can that work for me?" And right now, I'm in the process of, in fact, we've literally set up another entity of which now I'm a co-owner of a driving school, and the opportunity just came. So it's just these things where you realize that it's the opportunity that's always in front of you, and how to unpack value just in time to do it. Because when I went on this particular on this day, it wasn't unplanned. It wasn't planned for me to be selling it, right? I didn't know that this was the thing, and I didn't even also know the amount of missed phone calls these guys had, because if an instructor answers the phone when they are teaching a student to drive, man, that's a major breach of their professionalism, and yet especially when they're telling people that you can't pick up your phone when you're driving. So yeah, a one size fits all approach doesn't work. It doesn't work. Yes, with medical centers, their common problem is a lot of long wait times, right? When someone is calling a medical center, they have a long wait time on the phone because either they're it's engaged because the receptionist is speaking with someone else, right? So that's classified as a bad customer experience. So sometimes now on peak periods for large medical centers, they can have 6 or 7, up to 9 people on hold, right? Even if they can have 3 receptions or answering phones. So the moment when you're speaking now with the practice manager or even the business owner, right? It's something which they're already experiencing and know. So the moment of giving them a way to that, okay, we're all about customer experience and transforming the perception that people have, and also maintaining your current clients. If we can pick up the phone every time they ring, what does it mean? It means they always booked. All the doctors never have empty slots, and that's it. So it's a game changer, but it's just a matter of understanding the business and giving value so that we don't use the one size approach always to talk about these phone calls. Because if you lead with that, or leading just with the voice itself, you're taking your chances, because you just need to understand or even be there to experience the root cause of the problem. We were at a very big tire service center where they changed tires for cars, for tractors, etc. Right? And this one is a very funny one, because whilst we were there in the meeting with the business owner, right, she kept on getting a lot of missed phone calls, and she kept on running to reception because there were two numbers, and it was just a mess. And then the mistake we did was like, yeah, we're going to take care of those missed phone calls. And then she got spooked out, because it was early in the conversation that we jumped in quickly to talk about voice AI, right? So we failed to get the client, even as much as they had the problem. It was straight in their face. She accepted that she did have the issue, but for her to commit and go forward, she was scared that this is AI. How is it going to work? And because I think the focus was too much on AI, but not on the problem. Yeah, and I missed out. This one is it's a multi-million-dollar client, and I missed out on this one. I think I'll go back within a few months again and have a chat with them. This time it will be different. Hopefully they will sign up. Yeah. The other common thing is over delivering and over promising, because business owners, man, they get excited the moment you're talking about AI, right? And once they see that you're competent with within this space, they start asking you more and more solutions or possible solutions of how we can use AI, right? And if you're not very careful, whilst you're in the middle of it, right, you can actually be waylaid from the actual problem to another problem, and then suddenly you've got multiple problems which are now on the table, and this will pose a very big problem when it comes now to how are you going to position your service and for what product. I experienced this when we went to because there's I've got an offsider I'm training on how to sell this product. So that's why I'm always saying we, right? It's part of my team. So we went to a franchise, right? To a franchise, a cleaning franchise. So this cleaning franchise, they've got multiple products which they sell, or which they give their franchises to sell. For example, pressure cleaning, window cleaning, commercial cleaning, etc. So all these different types of products, they have got the different languaging, different messaging, and they got excited. They really wanted the product, but then it just became too many rabbits to chase at the same time. So when it came to the time of making a decision, they couldn't make a decision. And we had the first meeting, then we had the second meeting. Until now, they're still waiting to come back to us, because within themselves, the board of 3 or 4 people are still going around in circles. And I realized the problem was us. We got excited, and we showed our expertise, and then it became a fault. So the key thing is just to stick to the one thing, to the one big problem, and focus on that. The other ones, they have to be the second phase after we get the one working. And these are the key things which I saw. Like yesterday, we closed an engineering company, right? This engineering company, they're actually experiencing a huge growth now. So after we closed them, they started to talk about how they are thinking of other ways of improving their internal processes by automation. As much as I had so many ideas towards it, I gladly agreed to talk about and discuss deeper into them after 3 months, because the moment based on past experience now, the moment we start talking about that before delivering on the first one, right, you will say yes, and then suddenly it's a lot of things that you now need to chase and do at the same time, and it becomes too much. So the expectation, because a lot of businesses, the moment when you come with AI, right, they are thinking that you've got a magic wand. And of course, as it's so magical, because when they're experiencing speaking with the agent, and the agent is literally calling their name and being emotional, they're seeing most of their problems being solved, right? But not realizing that this is just a tool to solve some problems, not all the problems. So over-promising can easily happen, even when you're saying yes because you want the clients. But it's one of those things we have to be very, very careful and agreeing on the boundaries that this is what we're going to deliver on first version, and any other functions, any other critical functions, we'll look at them and then we add them on version 2 and version 3 as we continue on this journey, because this is not a once-off relationship. This is ongoing. So that's with promising and over delivering, right? Oh, yes. Then the next one is on the benefits, right? This is where, again, the moment you start focusing on so much of the product, you're so easy forgetting to talk about the benefits. You can mention them, but if the overall focus is just now on the tech itself, they don't connect with you. So the key thing is them understanding that they're gonna, their reputation is going to change, the customer sentiments, and missed calls. You're reducing them. Giving focus on the benefits is a game changer. The moment you don't now and you're just focusing on the tech itself, we're only speaking together as what the tech guys, right? The business owners, they don't connect, and it gets out of the head. It just becomes too. Yeah, it's like when you go to a mechanic and you're asking what's wrong with the car, and they will tell you something to do with the carburetor and everything else. Yeah, you just nod your head, but hey, like just fix the car, and it's exactly the same thing. So if we skip and easily don't touch and spend time on the benefits, this is where we definitely lose. So it's important for the business owner to be actually uh, contributing so much, especially on the benefits, right? We can lead them to talk about the benefits, and when they keep on letting us know, oh man, it's going to reduce my costs, it's going to make my staff happy, it's going to make my clients happy, it's going to increase my revenue, because it's implied as we talk about this, as we're going through the sales process, then they're already talking themselves into buying the products. But the moment when we lead the other way now and skip this element, oh yeah, we lose the sale. We lose the sale, and unfortunately, it's not a good experience. Yeah. The other thing I also did was is proof. Yeah, proof of concept. Proof does it. It does it easily. I remember my first client I got. I just bumped into him at a coffee shop. Coffee is actually good, because whilst we're in the line waiting for our coffees to be brewed, he asked me. I asked him what he was doing. Right? Oh, he's a business owner. He's in the education sector. Like, okay, cool. So what do you do? He's talking about international education, helping them migrate to Australia. I'm like, oh, perfect. And how are you using AI? Then he went down. He went deep. He went deep. Then I was like, oh, you know what? Uh, there's something that I'm doing with AI, and I don't know, but looks like you guys are way ahead, right? I deleted myself. Then I gave him a number. I just said, can you dial this number and tell me what you think? So he dialed whilst I was there. He literally froze, like, whoops. He spoke for a while, and from there, game changer. So how long is it going to take for this to be implemented in my business? And then I didn't even have time estimates, etc. I'm like, oh yeah, well, within a month we'll get you up, set up and running. And how much is it going to cost? I had to come up with a price. I'm thinking 2,000. I'm thinking 1,000. I'm like, oh yeah, this. By the time when we're going to markets, this is a premium product. So I think for you, I can do it for $5,000. Just like that, it's like, we've got a deal. Send me an invoice today. And by the time I got back home, because I was in the city, by the time I got back home 2 hours later, he'd already called me back to say, we definitely need to close this and get it working. So proof definitely is the easiest way of getting someone to believe and someone to experience it. So with all our demos, right, besides the calendar bookings, they also, even as soon as when a person tries our demo, right, they will get on call completion, they either get the text message with the calendar booking and also get the email, right? So this is standard. So even if they don't want to, even if they're skeptical, they will experience it on their phone. And every time we don't uh, we don't use our devices, right, for demonstration. The client has to use their phone or scan on the QR code, enter their personal details, and when the phone rings, right, that's the first touch, that's the first point. Then when they speak, that's the second touch. The third one now is them receiving now the end of call confirmation of the appointment and anything else which is part of that workflow. Soon as that happens now, they're already seeing this working in whatever they are doing. So it becomes a very easy one. Testimonials, these ones you get them as you're getting clients, and yeah, I won't even talk about how to get testimonials. We all know how to do this. But the key thing is having lots of different working solutions for different niches, because someone is going to be in the medical field, someone's going to be in accounting, someone is going to be in retail. So you need to have 10, 15, 20 different use cases of existing phone numbers, and each one whenever you're meeting with one, you just need to know, okay, I'm going to give him this one because this is the industry they are in. Once they experience, because languaging and relativity is a key factor, that experience is what counts. Then from there, can it work? How does it work? I want to be the first one to do it. Then the rest to, it will walk in your way. So yeah, it's important to definitely use proof, and I'm sure we most of us are already good with this one. Yeah. Then for most businesses, they already have got CRMs and they're going concerns, right? Because especially for us, our ideal client is already doing at least 1 million plus. So for most of our clients, right, they already have got a CRM. So the key thing is, okay, how is it going to work and integrate with my systems? So we need to realize and understand that the solution is a tool that's also getting to be part of their ecosystem. So being confident in understanding how to integrate with different tools is a key thing, because they're going to be worried that, oh man, we've been using HubSpot for years and now there's this which doesn't integrate with HubSpot. How's it going to work? So you need to know on how to integrate with HubSpot and how to send the JSON files from HubSpot to initiate the calls and how to get the transcript, all that, right? So the confidence in you doing these things, right, helps you at that point when you're now unpacking value and giving use case examples to business owners. Yes. For some in the medical field, man, in the medical field, there's a lot of different tools which different practices use, especially for their calendars. Some do have APIs, some don't, and it's it's a mess, right? A client who wants, they convert, they even pay, then down the line you then discover that the calendar, you can't actually book an automated calendar. So what do you do, right? So you need to find ways now of how to overcome that objection, and not an objection as such, but that curveball that's in your pathway now, because previously you were not expecting this. You're thinking that it was going to be an easy integration, but because of the absence of a direct way of getting calendars booked, you have to think smart and think big and quickly see how you can solve that or provide an alternative solution. But the key thing is seeing how you unpack the value and demonstrating the value, right? One of the key thing I also show is the calculator. We've got a value calculator that was shared in the group, so I got inspiration from it. Then I went to Bolt and created my own one, and I have it as part of my presentation on our website too. So all that we do is we demonstrate an hour being saved, then it calculates to show what's the dollar amount per week, per month, and per year. And then that makes it easy now for the business owner to understand that, oh, okay, they're definitely onto something. So now talking about integration, and then they've got a CRM that's giving them problems. If you're using a high level, even better, because give it for free, right? But it has to be bundled into your monthly recurring revenue. So literally, you give them access to the best CRM tool, and you're giving them for free, man, that's it. They've got no other objection because you're telling them that its advantages outweighs the current problems they have on their CRM. Some have got legacy CRMs that they're actually looking for a solution to something that works. So the opportunity is definitely in front of them, in front of you. Yeah. So integration is always big, but you need to know how to use that within your sales process, because it's going to be a question. It's going to be one of the key questions that comes. Then hard sales, right? Uh, Hard tactics. Don't be pushy. Of course, we all say we shouldn't be pushy, but the key thing is you need to get a date and commitment, right? Otherwise, you're going to have so many conversations without any commitment, and then literally you're just wasting so much effort. Like currently, I'm not running any paid ads. This is a lot of organic. So I'm meeting people in person, and uh, so doing, I'm improving my process and getting to experience it firsthand, right? You can do the same online, but by the time when you transition online, you need to definitely know your your process to the point where when you start to ask for the commitment, right? It doesn't have to be pushy like everyone else, like everything, like the like anyone else. You don't want to be pushed to buy, but you have to definitely go for the sale. So on Christmas Day, yes, I closed a medical client who does that on Christmas Day, but it was because the opportunity was there. Met the person, they tried the phone, the doctor, he tried it again, and he was asking complicated questions. The AI man, it fought back, answered him, and he couldn't believe it. By within the next hour or two, he was in, right? And because he was at an event, he came to the gathering where people were, and the opportunity just presented itself. So it's not an everyday process, but some people are ready to do business because they're looking for a solution, but they just don't know how to Google, who to Google, or who to talk to. So you need to definitely have your your process or your guard ready, so that you do the hard selling, but not obviously, right? Yes. Some uh, some companies have literally told us, like the other one on Thursday, uh, from cold calling, appointment was done on the same day. Business owner was quite happy. We shook hands, right? He was then supposed to meet with his team on Thursday so that then they make the payment. The time on Thursday came. I'm checking the time. It's now 1:30. I'm like, what's happening? This was someone who was excited yesterday, and I haven't heard anything. Then I called back. I'm like, yeah, I'm just following up from yesterday to find out I was still on Friday because I was supposed to go there on Friday and review everything else. Then for whatever reason, I think he'd already gone into buyer's remorse. And yeah, man, he started giving me gears. Oh, my apologies, my battery is just running low. What has happened? My apologies, guys. I've not connected my computer properly, but we're back now. Yes. So yeah, he from there, man, he discussed it. It's like, oh yeah, I'll tell you in 2 weeks. I'm going away. I'm like, oh wow. So I can tell that I've lost the sale there for whatever reason. So again, it's part of the process now of understanding that for some people, yes, they'll get excited, they want to go in, but buyer's remorse is real, is going to happen. And how then do you work around that, right? If a person doesn't contact you within 24 hours or 48 hours, do you follow up? Do you not? But me, I'm happy with the no, so that I don't waste my time. So yeah, I'm going for no, but an earlier no is better than for me to be waiting for 2 weeks for a no. So that's my KPI. So if I get 50 no's per month, I'm happy, because out of the 50 no's, I can get 5 yeses, and those yeses are a very good number. So that's how we've managed to gamify it going for no, right? Cool. Then sales tactics, right? Sales tactics are just part of the way we do it. And it's not a direct tactic, it's a combination or a hybrid of a lot of things. So whilst I'm there, right, as much as I'm talking about a solution that is going to involve voice AI, I'm also talking about how we're using AI to post content on social media. So whilst they're with you, especially, I really like this when it's a group of different business owners, because they'll go on LinkedIn and they'll go on social media and check, right? And as you're talking about it and telling them, yeah, that no, nowadays we don't even have to involve graphic designers, because all we do is just think about a post, or yeah, I'm reading and browsing the internet, I see something of interest, I'll just select it, and then the next thing, within 5 minutes, it's already posted on my page. I demonstrated this in front of another franchise, and these guys are in now. This one is a very big franchise, so they've already made the commitment. They're back in the office on next week, and yeah, so they've already signed up this one. So it's not just about the obvious sales tactics, but it's about how you create a compound sales process that also involves the sales tactics, right? And listen to the buying ins. If someone is saying yes, and they're spending time to listen to you and spending time to ask you questions, you know that okay, I'll need to change my strategy here and go for it. I'd gone for an appointment, and when I got there, right, the husband had actually cancelled, right, the appointment. But because the wife was there, and on my way out, I just asked for 10 minutes just to show her, right? And that 10 minutes resulted in me, like for this franchise, it's going to be worth over $24,000 a month for us. So that's definitely a big client, and it's one of the tactics which I just thought about as I was leaving. That, oh, you know what? Since you're here, let me just make you experience. Then when I'm back, at least you're not the first one. You'll be one of the first ones in the company to know. From a 5 minute talk, it ended up being 1.5 hours. And by the time when the husband came, which was the following week, we closed the deal. So definitely, it's not hard sell, but there's some tactics that definitely work, which sometimes you have to be creative and just use them whilst you're there, and you'll get results. Then, of course, it's always important to not too quick to say you're replacing a person, but to say this is how we're going to make your people efficient and assigning them to different tasks, right? They know very well secretly that, oh yeah, I'm going to fire this person, she's a slacker already, right? But that's not the entry point, right? Because what we're saying is you're having a lead uh, conversion problem. So if we can quickly speak to your leads and warm them up, by the time when your team gets into the office, they already have got calendars with qualified leads. How does that sound? Man, you saved me a lot. And it allows them now to realize that, okay, where they had people who are now following up the leads and qualifying them, uh, they have to be assigned now to the lead conversion process, and they will self-elect and self-select, because for some business owners, they're intimate with their staff. So the moment you're coming in to say we want to replace them, right? They freak out. They literally say, no, man. Wow. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna save you of the 85,000 you're paying per year in the cost of seats. I will save you 50,000 of it, right? But it's a conversation that you don't do earlier on. It has to be at the very end, where definitely they've seen the value, they've seen the advantages, and then you bring it in. So the human element, it's important to be part of the component, but you, I emphasize on them being the ones who do the complex and high level tasks, and it definitely results in sales, right? Then compliancy and privacy. Yes, they ask about this one, especially in health. So it's one of the key things I talk about earlier on, so that that objection is already extinguished, and I break that wall, because they're going to talk about security. Man, AI is going to take over everything. I remember we were at a flooring company, right? So whilst we were in the meeting, they were talking about security. They're like, okay, so if this AI is going to be following up on our quotes and speaking to clients, man, it means it can actually start logging into a bank account, and it will take all the money. So addressing those things, it's very important because most of the guys who own businesses anyway, they're not young guys or they're not techie at all. So privacy, compliance, and security is very important to address and to show value, right? Then from there, that's it. So sometimes when they needed documentation, I had to show them the different documentations that are on the LLMs we use anyway. And so because of that, it implies that it is, right? Someone from a big bank was so focused on the security itself. And, we spent considerable time at length because he was looking at bringing it in, but he was concerned about security and privacy. I'm like, and I realized for me that we wasted way too much time talking about this, and I eventually had to dodge his calls and let him like that because it looked a very good client, but the conversation on security and compliance was literally eroding the effort itself. So, so yeah, this one you definitely need to be aware of this one. Then scalability. Yes, they'll talk about the cost savings, right? So you remember we're not only saving costs, but we're also increasing the revenue, right? So it's important to focus on costs and also revenue. So it's a double-edged sword, right? And business owners, they definitely understand this. But if the focus is only on the cost savings, you're letting a person go, or you're no longer you're using the cost of employee on costs and everything else, and forget to talk about the revenue impact, you let yourself down. So this definitely is one of the things which you definitely talk about within the conversation. Then scale. Everyone wants to grow. Everyone wants to get to the next level. So yes, how are we going to scale? Is it going to work? So this is what you address. And I remember what I did in it was at a conference, right? And in November, I got 5 people in the room to get up and display the phone number on stage and asked each one of them to call at the same time. So everyone in the room actually go to see it working and each one speaking differently. So that's important to be addressed because they're going to ask what's going to happen when it's engaged and what's going to happen if 10 calls are happening at the same time. So having an experience or actually getting them to experience it is the best way to address this. But for most, they're happy the moment they see it working and you talk about it. It comforts them because that's the key thing they want to know. Because like all of us, right? There are times when during the day when you're on one phone call, you get 2 or 3 calls or 4 calls at the same time, and you can't pick them all up because you're on the one. Whereas this solution does that. So yeah, these are the key things which I definitely do not want to focus on and push through as I go through the sales process to get a sale. And it has helped us to close an average per month. Oh, in fact, I don't want to focus on the average per month because, for example, we closed with a medical group that's going to access to us. We'll be doing by the end of this month, we'll do 10 clients just from them alone. Next month, we're focusing on doing 20. Then by the time we get to March, April, we'll be doing on an average of between 50 clients a month. I'm talking about medical centers. So the revenue per month, which we have managed to tap in, it's unimaginable. But the key thing is making sure that the back end is working properly and again, value and showing confidence to the business owners that you are the person for the job and your team can actually do this. So yes, this is what I had to share on what not to do when you're selling voice AI, because the problem or the business we're in is not about voice AI, but we are actually in the business of selling the we're in the business of selling the solution that voice AI solves, right? So it's important to ask questions, right? Oh, Then, as promised, I've got the second part. This one I'll just do it quite fast because of time constraints. But the second part is now the. I'll show you one of our presentations, which yeah, it prints money. It prints money. So let me share with you now. All right, so where is this?
Perhaps just quickly, did you want to take some questions now or after the next section?
After next question, right?
Okay.
I'll do it quite fast. This one, I'll do
No
it
problem.
quite fast, right? All right. So interactive calls. This is the first slide, right? How to revolutionize your business communication with AI-powered solution. So the key thing is a lot of businesses are still thinking about AI and they're still thinking AI is ChatGPT. But then, because there'll be tension in the room because they are expecting you to come up with a lot of solutions and then lead with, I saw this somewhere, this video, it shows, I'll mute it, but it shows, I'm sure you've seen this one where it then jumps on to from his road bike, he changes the way he's cycling so that he's able to change his method, right? And whilst they're seeing this one, especially when it's displayed, I'm talking about here, businesses are still doing the old ways of doing businesses where they've got teams of receptions and they're missing phone calls and they're wondering how can we improve, but others are doing better. They're always present on social media. They've got the fleet is growing and you can tell that they're doing so much better, right? Even the market leaders are wondering, who is this person who's coming to overtake us, right? So this is what happens now when your business is using AI, because from coming from in the woods, you suddenly become the market leader because of the efficiencies of the process you're doing. It's doing the same thing, but you're doing it differently. Even those that thought were ahead of the curve, you will overtake them and they have got no other option but to follow suit. So the moment your business jumps in and starts doing that, that's it. You are definitely a market leader, right? From this video, it's a conversation starter. They'll laugh, talk about it, and it paves the way for you to talk about the first movers advantage and who doesn't want to be ahead of everyone else, because that's why in business is Olympics, it's not a marathon. And then next slide is on some stats from McKinsey Core. And after this slide, the next one is on the challenges. Now, these are the problems, which I think this one was for a construction company. So
we're not seeing your slides while I'm not tapped.
Oh, it's not on. Is my volume not? Oh, sorry, I wasn't sharing my screen.
I can't see it, so probably not.
Oh, sorry, my apologies. Oh. All right. We'll have to come back. Okay, I will come back.
Yeah, we can see it now.
Sorry, guys. Yes. So, yeah. So this is the first page of our presentation, right? The video I was talking about is this one, AI-powered strategy. That businesses are wondering, what do we do with AI? Because they're all doing the same thing and they're struggling to make sales. So you're literally in the same racetrack, but you have to do things differently, because if you don't adopt and start using AI in 2025, by the time we get to December, you're literally going to close shop. So a lot of businesses are resistant and they're still doing the same things and they're going to suffer the most. But for those who are early adopters, they'll soon become a step ahead of the curve and become market leaders. And by so doing, it means that they're able to do more by doing less, where they're omnipresent on social media and the clients are satisfied. Even the market leaders are going to get a shock that, wow, how is this business which has been in the oblivion come and overtook us, right? And by them seeing this video, right, people get warmed up and they let their head down because they get excited, and it's a very good conversation starter. And even those who thought were superior will have to follow suit and jump in. And From here, that's it. You've got no other option but to definitely adopt AI, because if you're not going to use AI, your competitors are going to have the first movers advantage, and you will be in oblivion. So from here now, the conversation starts, right? They talk about different use cases of how they want to use AI, how they're using AI, or how they want to use AI. But at least it's the one of the best icebreakers we now have, right? Then from there, it's about stats. It's important to show stats, because if you don't show stats from reputable organizations, you're not showing authority. So this is the authority the slides. Then from there we go into the problems, right? So this one was for a construction company, and so by the time when we're showing on this slide, right, they're already talking about these things, right? And I only reveal this slide after they've been engaging with me, right? Otherwise, I don't want to be prescription. They have to be throwing it to me, right? So we go into problems, then we talk about, okay, the AI advantage, the importance of what it's going to mean for them. Then this one again, it's after they've engaged and we're talking about it. And like for this one, they had issues also with their Google ads. So I had to show them what's happening with their leads process and the lead conversion, and addressing security and privacy. Very important. So I dive into it. So I'm extinguishing that brick wall. Then quickly I dived into the demo, right? So there was this one. Then scenario, this is an education provider. Then I gave them another number. This one is a medical center. They called. Then I gave them another one. This one is a tech accountant. And this is the most important slide now. Oh, I gave them, we skipped this one because it was now pretty obvious. They were so excited. This is the most important slide now. How do you see this working in your business, right? The experience, and how do you see this working in your business? A lot of people initially will talk about, oh yeah, it sounds robotic, but now with improvements, it doesn't sound robotic at all. So the robotic component is no longer there. They will self-select, they'll talk themselves now. They'll talk themselves into buying or talk themselves out of buying. But pretty much you've done the work. I spend a lot of time on this because this is where we go deep into the reasons why they need to have it. They need the way it's going to be working, how they see it working, and what they're expecting to be getting from AI. And from there, that's it really. We show them the costs in terms of, here in Australia, this is the average cost of an admin staff member over 3 years. And why this is important? Because they really need to see the impact, the cost impact, right? This is the cost of seat of an admin staff, right? So they're thinking 177,000, 3 years. Oh wow, okay, yeah. And for some, the admin staff, they actually cost more. Some 85, so it will be, the figure will be higher, right? And then we show them the AI, the cost of the AI, to say over 3 years it's only 59% cost savings. This is the nightmare. This is the nightmare they start having now, right? Soon as they see this, they will be struggling. So why am I not going ahead? Why should I not? This is very important to clearly show this. And from here, this is where the magic happens now. You then have the final nitty-gritties. How do we sign up? How do we become a client? And it leads you to closing the sale. So that's the quick process of how we are selling our solution, and it is definitely getting us results. We're getting sales week in, week out. Like as I said that yesterday, this week alone we closed 2 clients, 16 and 8, right? So that's 24,000 in a week. And this is besides the other clients that are on their way. So for me now, my focus is really on the optimization of the process, on the fulfillment, because that's the critical component. And I think slowly we are going to stop actually going to markets to get more clients, because I think we're getting to that asset level where we just need to focus on that. Yes, I think these are this is what I have for now. Any questions?
Yeah, Taps, I've got a few in from previous, so I'll run through some of those with you. So can someone mute their phone? Well, let me just have a look, see if I can mute everybody. Give me a second. Yeah, if someone can mute themselves, they're hearing some background noise, please.
Yeah. He's not at his desk, is Paul.
Okay, cool. I had a quick question. You were saying about multiple conversations at the same time, and does it? So you can call the same number, multiple people can call, and then it doesn't require one call to finish before the next one. Is that right?
Yes, yes. There's no interference at all.
Mhm.
They all happen independently. Man, this one is magical, especially when you've got the opportunity to present at a conference or where there are many people in, right? You simply say, guys, I need volunteers. Can 5 people get up, right? They get up, and I'm only going to ask you to do one thing. Please call that number at the same time. This is the use case. They do it, right? They have a different experience because they all answer differently at the same time. It's magical.
Sounds good. And Sanai asks, how do you address objections where people are worried about replacing staff, particularly in places like call centers or internal support?
Yes. So leading into that questions, right? For example, here in Australia, we were lucky that one of our biggest banks, the Commonwealth Bank, actually produced a news article that they've closed their call center because they're now being replaced with voice AI agents. So for us, that's an opportunity because it's part of the initial discussions, right? I started talking about AI. One of the things that the Commonwealth Bank, which is the leading bank, has actually decided now to optimize its costs and improve its customer service by letting go or closing its call center staff across different locations, and it's all being replaced by AI. So that in itself is transforming the business to be more of a profit center than a cost center. But now for small businesses who are now thinking about, okay, what happens when I let go my staff, right? The key thing is being tactful on how you answer that one. You talk about, it's not an immediate thing that happens. Later down the line, right? You're going to find ways, the business will know ways of how you're going to optimize costs, and maybe you're going to assign them something different. Unfortunately, some are going to be let go, right? Just like what happened when the shipping container was invented, right? It was met with huge resistance. There were fights at the shipping docks, but now nothing gets stolen. So it's the same thing with AI. Whenever there's something new, there's resistance, and people eventually buy in.
Yeah, I agree. And yeah, like you say, be tactful. And you can also say in the future, you can put a pay freeze, and then as people just start to move on, then you don't have to hire new people to replace them, that sort of thing.
With that one now, as just speaking with the business owner, they actually talk about that one. That, oh man, people are calling in sick, right? The sick is the overtimes, you name it, right? They're mentioning these. So now you then use them as weapons. So the key thing about listening when you're doing your presentation, right? When they're talking to you, you're listening for those key words they say, and you use them in your examples now as you're speaking back to them, right? Because talking about overtime, talking about holiday pay, talking about all these on costs, which are pre-planned, sick leave, right? What do? I remember the other time when we're in the meeting itself, one of their staff members was supposed to be work was only let them know later on that they're unwell, right? So there was a period where it was just a nightmare. And talking about AI, it was music to their ears. So yeah, it definitely is just being tactful on how you talk about and bring it into the conversation.
Cool, thank you, Taps. And the next question was, how do you show use cases and proof when you approach the customer and you're just starting out? So when you're just starting out and you want to show proof, how do you recommend going ahead?
Yes, so like what I did, right, when I had my first sale, I wasn't even prepared to sell, but I had a product that was working. So I was saying to myself, I'm going to create a process which is going to enable me to sell, right? I only created those slides after I actually sold twice, right? I had 2 sales, and then I had to think about the slides because I sold without the slides. So the proof I had was just the phone that was working. So the key thing is, once your solution is working, demonstrating to them that, okay, I've got it all working, and we're taking it to market at $10,000, for example. But you know what? Since I want to have a deal with you, right? Since you're going to be the first adopter, and there's lots that I'm going to learn for you, I'm willing to do it at half the price, right? Give them an irresistible reason why they can't say no, right? And if it means you actually remove the setup cost and then they just pay the monthly recurring revenue, you can also do that, right? Do whatever works in your favor to win the sale, as long as you understand the potential of wherever it's going. But the key thing is definitely showing value. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Showing that what it can do. So yeah, like you say, have them make a call is a great way to do it while you're getting testimonials. And like you said, you might work for a lower cost to start off, or yeah, you might suck up some of the cost to get their testimonials, and then from there you can use that as proof for future ones. Cool. The next question was, when you're approaching medium to large companies and you're a solopreneur, is it best to sort of, do people have concerns about you being an individual? Should you sort of present yourself as a team? What would you recommend around that when you're a solopreneur and you're just getting started?
Okay. So the key thing is also understanding your vision for your business, right? By the time when you're venturing into this AI, right, you definitely have to be thinking about you having a team. So start thinking about, you should already be having conversations with other people you're going to be giving this work to do. I've been fortunate enough that we've been in the agency space for the past 5-6 years. So we already had a team, and had been working with AI since 2019, right? So if you then don't have a team and you're approaching medium to large, definitely they're going to be worried, asking you now what's going to happen with support, right? Because this needs to be up all the time. You're going to enter into service level agreements, etc. So you need now to definitely give them confidence. And this is by you saying it's not about you. You have a team, and you need to find a team. Find people to partner with who are able to be doing some of the work for you, right? Because if you get 3 clients in a week and you're a solopreneur, trust me, it can be hell if you don't have a team to help you manage that process. So going forward, I would say you just have to be strategic now. If you're starting, to know that it's no longer about you. You've got a solution that's wanted by many, many people. So you need to have a team. And when you're going to people, talk about, I've got a team, because the thing that you're talking about, I've got a team, and they accept because you said you've got a team, you will definitely find that team even if you don't have it. Because the pressure is on, they've committed, you will find the team. So that's what I would do, yeah.
Cool, thanks, Taps. Next question was around AI data security, where you don't have experience in security and hacking, all that sort of thing. How do you reassure your clients about that side of things, to say, oh, your security? And it might be in the UK, we have a thing called GPDR. How do you sort of reassure clients around that side of things?
Yes, the key thing was, okay, what if we get hacked? Yes, I focused on, I'm like, oh yeah, do you remember the occasions when your GP calls you, right? Because, for example, you can, here in Australia, you can book an appointment to get a prescription from a GP, and your GP calls you and you have a 5-10 minute conversation and they give you the prescription, right? I'm like, yeah, the security of our system is the secure as the system the GP uses. Then immediately they're like, okay, no worries. I'm like, yeah, if they can hack into, or someone can hack into the system doctors use to call you, and they're just using the ordinary phone lines, right? Then it means the penetration testing, or which already has been promised by our partners, right, has already been breached, and we can't come to market and say they've got all these compliances. Yeah. So I haven't had incredible resistances because of security, right? The funny one was the bank, where you was so much focusing on security. I was like, I think you need to just go and spend time with the security firm and see if you find success, right? Because people can make up these things, right? But the key thing is showing that, yes, you're very much aware of what a security breach might do, but assuring them that the software suites is already being, you're using suites of already certified and audited softwares, it implies that you're also audited, right?
Yeah, I think it depends where in the world you are. Most companies, if you deal with them, they have a trust center and they can give you information. I've been dealing with a company and they can provide you information about things like ISO, security, and certification. And then in the UK, we have some certain regulations which need to be met. And so yeah, you can ask the provider. So if you're using VAPI or retail or something like that, then they can probably help you there.
I remember I downloaded a lot of information across the different suites we use, which I have, and I literally send those files to say, okay, you can get it to the security team to check this, but it's that's as much as we are guaranteeing the security of this. Yeah, nothing is 100% secure, right? Even banks, the government, they get hacked every day, so it's just a matter of if they tell the truth or not.
Mm-hmm. How do you think of competitive advantage going ahead in the future as it becomes more saturated, this market?
Oh, competitive advantage is good, and it's good to be in a buying market, right? And there's no advantage of being the cheapest guy in town, where you're going to be selling your service or product for $500 a month, right? Trust me, it's a pain to service this solution for $500 a month, given the benefits which the business is going to be making. So you need to realize that already there's a lot of business owners are getting a lot of phone calls, right, from people who are trying to sell them Voice AI, right? But again, they're focusing on the voice, right? They're not focusing on the problem. So it's not really working. And they're even going to say, yeah, we can give it to you for $100 a month or $150 a month, right?
Yeah.
It suddenly becomes of no value, right? So competition is good. It actually makes I always say competition is healthy because it shows that you're in a buying market. And the opportunities in voice, they are huge, right?
Mm-hmm.
And realizing that this voice solution, right, is just a step in the door for many other solutions the business wants. Because when you're closing the client, you're presenting as an expert, as an AI expert, right? Yes, they do want the solution, right? But they're going to ask you, well, we've got all this information, all this scattered data, which we now need to retrieve and make use of, right? That one, you're not charging 6,000. You're charging, 24. It's unlimited because of the value-based pricing. It took me a while to understand value vis-a-vis pricing per se, because the default was to always go cheap. In my past life, I'm an accountant, qualified accountant, CPA, and accountants unfortunately were trained to do penny pinchers, right?
Yeah.
And I had to unwind and train myself and move away from that and realize that no, we sell based on value, not based on being the lowest person in town. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. Perhaps that's a good thing to bear in mind is, don't try and be the cheapest, put across your value proposition and set yourself apart in the market. Don't try to be a commodity. Could you talk a little bit more about your tech stack? What sort of services do you use behind the scenes? Are you using VAPI or what sort of products are you using?
Okay. So yes, we VAPI, go high level and make automations. So pretty much that's it. We haven't ventured into N8 because we focus so much in make. We're eventually, once we get the critical path and bring on more developers, we'll definitely venture into it. But what I've also done is, right, because the fact that I was an accountant, I already know the common problems of most businesses, right, from an accounting perspective. So now when I'm talking about how this is going to impact their revenue, right, I'm pressing the touch points that they already know. So it enables to not just be focused on the one thing, but to focus on it, and then having a suite of other AI products, AI-driven products, which we are showing as value, right, elevates the perception, not in perception, but elevates who you are to them anyway. So by the time when it's time to give a price to it, it's easy. Go high level is amazing, man. So literally, we use it to our advantage a lot because we For businesses that don't have a CRM, we're like, yeah, we've got the best CRM for you. We're giving it to you for free. You don't need to worry about it. You can do all sorts of different things in it, from posting content, scheduling content, now to all your email marketing. So all of these other suites which you had, you're going to have to eventually close those subscriptions because they're not serving you. It's all in one. And your voice AI agents can literally make phone calls straight from your voice AI. So we just send data straight from there, and the calls are originated. So it definitely is a game changer now for businesses that don't have a CRM. For those that have, again, for them it's just a matter of time before they adopt, because we're already giving it. That's how we made it very, very personal and intentional to say, when you're using our products, right, it comes with a CRM. That's how we deliver it. So if you want to do your outbound calls, right, still it has to be routed through high level and goes through vacuum, and it's intentional. Then over time they will start to adopt, because slowly they'll see the automation, they'll see the reminders, then okay, then they adopt it.
Yeah, I just became a reseller of Go High Level, so I'm learning it myself, and so I'll probably be asking you some questions about that in the future.
Sure.
Sanai had a quick one. How do you approach a customer to present an AI voice agent solution in one sentence?
In one sentence.
Yeah.
Okay, this one is literally all that. I just need a scenario. Just give me the scenario and I'll say it.
Say you're in an elevator and someone says, "Oh, what do you do?" How would you present your solution, sort of in one sentence?
Oh, okay, cool. I've got a solution that helps business owners continue answering their phone calls and selling their products whilst they're busy in meetings and unavailable in the office.
Thank you very much. I think we're almost out of questions. I'm not sure if John's still here. He was just asking about how you recommend getting started. He's just getting started, and what do you recommend for offering a service when you're just getting started?
So when you're getting started, right, you're literally trying to establish who is your ideal client, right? From my experience, this is not for businesses that are struggling. This is for businesses that are now established and are at the level of wanting to optimize their cost and scale, right? So you're looking at, okay, this is a product for a business that's definitely doing $1 million plus. So positioning yourself is talking to business owners who are within that niche. So it means, like, for example, in November, right? In November, in Australia, we what's called the Melbourne Cup Day. It's the National Day of Horse Racing. It's a very big event. People dress up, they go to pubs. It's definitely about horse racing. So what I did, I was like, that's an opportunity. I'm going to meet a client there, right? So whilst others were busy thinking about going to get drunk on Melbourne Cup, I was busy hunting. I was on the hunt. So I went and I bought a very, very nice outfit, and then I went there, right? The outfit itself was the conversation starter, right? Because from there, they would ask, so what do you do? What do you do? And then you talk about AI. You get appointments. Boom. So yeah, I got 10 appointments, right? And 4 became clients. And literally, I was only out for about, as in from home, I spent about 4 hours in different locations because that was literally what I was doing. So getting started, it's not linear. You just need to go where your ideal client is and just know on how, because everyone will pay attention the moment you say you've got an AI solution. So then just go for the appointment and tell them you can help them. Then once you're in the meeting, you close the client. Yeah.
And you're going to business meetings like Chamber of Commerce, that sort of thing. Is there any you recommend joining? It sounds like that sort of thing you might do.
Oh, for the Chamber of Commerce, I haven't been to the Chamber of Commerce, but I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it radically, right? I'm going to the Chamber of Commerce and I'll offer the full chamber, the chamber itself. I'm going to offer them for free, right? I'll offer them to set it up for free. Then I get access to all their members. So for me, the cost of our acquisition is going to be a no-brainer. I'll do the proper sales training. Then I'll offer them for free. They just have to pay for the usage and monthly recurring revenue. Then from there, I've got access to their members. So I think that's a better way for me. I think that's a better way, yeah, to do it, because they want they will have some agencies within the chambers who could be AI experts, right? But trust me, not many people are actually within this voice space. So it's literally any other meetup, BNI, right? Very few people, all of them, right? They're not within the voice AI space. So the opportunity is
jump in while you can. Yeah.
Just jump in. I've partnered. So what I've done is literally, because it's not about me, right? And this product is not for me, it's for businesses. So literally in cities where I'm not even there, I've literally managed to partner with some guys who are already good at sales, right?
Yeah.
They already got it going. I got them to try the product. They believe they've tested it. So they're getting clients again, right? So literally, even if they can't close the client, but they get me a very good lead, right? So it's utilizing these partnerships and give them very good affiliates, commissions, so that they are motivated to do it. Yeah.
What sort of commission works for you?
Yeah, mine is ridiculous. It's 30%. 30%, and there's one I've given 35%, and the one I've given 35%, he's already lined up for huge clients, right? So it's going to pay for itself. So 35% of 16K becomes a very good number now when they're understanding it. Yeah.
And how do you recommend sort of building up your team? I guess you were involved in a different space, like maybe marketing, and now you've moved to voice calling. Do you have any tips around managing and running a team?
Okay, so managing is going to be something you're going to keep on learning as you go, right? But the key thing is finding developers, right? Finding a good team. So I was very fortunate earlier on that I found a team in the opposite side of Philippines. So everyone else goes to Cebu and Manila, right? I'm on the very opposite side where literally nobody goes. And voila, I got access to talented developers, talented marketers, and then, man, that just did it for me. So literally with a very beautiful office, and we keep on looking for more uni students, right? Because it's very close to a uni student, to university. So we're now at the stage where we can actually sponsor now someone who's finishing uni to come and join us on our team. They guaranteed a job because they're good at what they do. Yes.
So you've got an office based in the Philippines, is that right?
Yeah. I've got an office in the Philippines and Bangladesh. Yes. So my team currently we're 17, and we're looking at growing.
Cool, sounds good. And is there any websites you recommend for finding people in other places, Bangladesh and Philippines, that sort of place?
Okay, cool. The Bangladesh one, I found him on YouTube. He's got his YouTube channel. I contacted him for a job. Then from there, I was like, oh man, I think we're going to be working together for some time, and that was it. So he has then gone ahead and got in more people, right? In the Philippines, man, if you know, there's a company called Pillow Profits. Pillow Profits in the e-commerce space, right? And this guy was a support at the Pillow Profits back then, and until he left Pillow Profits to join us. So I guess it just depends with the conversations you have with people, really, because some are not exactly where you think they could be in, right? But yes, I've used Fiverr, I've used Odesk, I've used the other one, but it has never been on an ongoing relationship. And ever since I've built my team, we've had one person leave us because he was stolen by a Japanese, a bigger company, right? And I think at that time we didn't have a lot of work within the databases, so you had to look for something else to do. And other than that, we've managed to keep our team and actually go on it.
Okay, sounds good. And what sort of rate are you looking at for, sort of, say, developers? Sort of rough idea.
Oh, it just depends on the country, wherever they are. So my aim is to, for example, in the Philippines, I know what the teachers earn, right? So that's the starting salary.
Mhm.
You have to start from somewhere, right?
Yeah.
And as a teacher, you're working from home and you're working from the office. Then from there, we like for my key developers, we've even put solar panels on their houses, etc. Right? So they don't have issues with electricity. Because some of these countries, they will have issues with electricity, right? Because of whatever issues going there. So to
Yeah.
protect yourselves and your contracts, you're having to do these things to safeguard yourself. Otherwise, you will get sued.
Yeah. I had a team in the Philippines doing gaming for me when I was doing crypto. So we had a team playing things like Axie Infinity and Peg Axie, that sort of thing.
Wow.
Cool.
Yeah.
Got one more question. So I guess you delegate most of the designing and automation stuff. Are you still involved in that side? What's your main area you focus on?
Okay. After we got the product working, right? Because man, that was a hard 6 or 7 months of getting it to work. First was the inbound, then the outbound. Now the outbound is relatable. From there now, I no longer focus on that now because we're doing long hours with 2 developers, right? During that time. So literally I know the product in and out, but now they're the ones who are focused on the fine tuning. Time and again, I can just get in to look at some of the scripting and help them with debugging. But other than that, my focus definitely is on now the workflows. The key thing is the workflows and customer relationship management, right?
Yeah.
It's not just about the email, but literally phone calls and speaking with these guys. Yes. So that at least, because this is a relationship, right? These businesses, they're going to be ongoing for the next 20 years. So as long as we get into the swing of talking with them, that'll be good. Yeah. Oh, sorry, Paul, I can't hear you. Something has happened to your audio.
That should sort it. And if people are getting started and do you partner up with people if people could bring you clients? And then I think you were saying like 30%. Is that something you would do with like, say, people on the call who are interested in working with you? If they go and find a client, can you sort of service those clients?
Yeah. Let's definitely have a chat. Yeah, 30% definitely on it. Yeah, the key thing is you need to be active and willing to speak with people. Yeah. Otherwise, definitely, I will never ever be able to satisfy the market here, right?
Yeah.
And we can only grow by lateral integration and vertical integration. So lateral is just partnering with people who've got access to clients up with the product, and then we grow organically like that. So yeah, definitely hit me up and let's partner. This is the only way we can serve people because businesses need our help. They need the product. So let's work together. Yeah.
Sounds good. I think we've answered all the questions and I appreciate. I'm just going to give you we had a little testimonial for you. I'm just going to scroll up. Debbie Davis was saying, I love your energy. I've listened to several of these sessions and your advice is helping to make sense of all of this for me. So yeah, we love your energy, and any other praise for Taps, stick it in the chat. Great information. Daniel says, thank you very much, Tappy and Paul. So yeah, it's getting late for some of the people. So
thank you very much, guys, for your kind words. And yeah, guys, let's keep on serving people. We're just at the tip of this solution worldwide, right? So let's partner up. Let's do whatever it takes to serve people. It doesn't help me to have a product and not get it out there, and neither does it help you to know someone is in need and someone's got a product, and yeah, let's preach. Let's be the bridge that brings smiles to people's faces.
Sounds good. So yeah, if you want to work with Taps, then you can get in touch, and especially if you've got a large client, then so like you said, it's looking at people over $1 million in turnover, and then yeah, you can sell in the solution, and that could be a good way for getting started. Like you said, it can take a lot of time building up a system, and if you've got people in good markets, then that's one way of working. Cool. I'm going to stop the recording and we will call it a day. It's coming up on 12:30 here in the UK. And I think it's like, is it 8:25 in your turn taps?
Yes, it's morning for me, so I'm gonna go on my push bike.
Yeah.
So
Sell some more clients.